it's Randy for Thunderhorse Descendant. I'm here today with project number one from April's Bargain Bead Box, and I'm super excited. So if you saw the unboxing where I mentioned that me and Shannon are getting ready to go to some shows, so we wanted to utilize this box to make some like show-friendly jewelry making. So when I'm talking about show-friendly, talking about just like little things that can also be put out on the table along with maybe some of your big ticket items, but also like some smaller things for somebody who's just maybe wanting to spend $10 or, you know, something like that. Something's little, maybe they want to support all the crafters, they want to buy one small thing from each booth. That's kind of a thing I do. So that's why it was in my head. So this first project number one, is a leather button bracelet. Really simple, but very cute. So let's get down onto the mat, get this party started. All right, guys, here we are down on the mat. I've taken the liberty of sorting out our first bit of beads. So we are going to be using these beautiful green glass beads. Just these. I mean, they're beautiful enough to just be just these. So I'm super excited about that. And then also this one, supposed to be a spacer, but I'm going to utilize it as a button, and it has 2 holes. So I thought we'll try a little something different with the way that we're going to put the beads on. So now I am adding my own leather. So what I have here is 39 inches of 1/2 millimeter leather. This is from Leather Cord USA. And I have 2 strands of those. Both are 39 inches in the 0.5 millimeter leather. So I have that. I don't know the name of this color. There's no name. It's kind of like a gunmetal color. So there's that. And then I am also considering adding 4 beads from my stash, you know, 5 probably. Not always something that I do, but I do have some spacers here, and I just have like these 5 or 7 little spacers, and they are metal and they're bronze, and I thought, oh, maybe I would like to incorporate those into this bracelet. They do have a larger hole, and I do believe that these did come from the Bargain Bead Box sister site, so feeling pretty confident about that. Anywho, I have a little sip of coffee and we're gonna get going on this. Easy peasy. So let me zoom you in just a tad, just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 2 pieces of leather and I'm going to marry them up. And this is all very simple. Just going to make sure they're the same length. And then I'm going to get all 4 ends and kind of make sure everything is working together here. Teamwork makes the dream work. So this is what we are going to have. So I have a loop on one end and I got tails on the other end. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this, what we're going to utilize as a button, and I'm going to put 2 through one of these, and then the other 2 tails, making sure that they are the tail that goes with the right spot, you know, the right string. And we're going to put those through there. We're just going to bring this down to the even middle, ever so slightly as to not tie a knot. And there we go. That's what we got. Easy peasy. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to tie an overhand knot in this. Now, if you know some cool knot techniques, I'm using all four of these to tie the knot. If you know some cool knot techniques, you want to put a barrel knot, you want to put some kind of other knot that you know how to make, by all means, go ahead. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. But not me. I'm just going to put a regular old over the hand knot right there. So as you can see, I did not tie it right up next to there, right up next to the holes, because this is going to act as a button. It's going to be going, you know, in and out of the loop that will eventually be on the end. And it's gonna need some little movement, you know, this kind of thing. So anyhow, now we are ready to rock and roll. And you guys, literally, this is gonna take a few minutes. So the first thing we're gonna do is, I should probably, if you have a tie station, you could go ahead and use your tie station. If you don't have a tie station, you can get some tape, which I know I have tape somewhere. Where is it? No, maybe I don't have any tape. I gotta go track down some tape. I found it. It migrated over into the Cricut area. So, I'm just gonna get a little bit of this washi tape, and I'm just going to, well, I kind of want you to be able to see. I'm just gonna tape this down to my mat. I mean, this is nothing super, you know, it's not going to stay in place if you really pull on it. So, you know, but I just need it to stay that down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate these here, one on one side, one on the other side, two in the middle. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two in the middle, and I'm going to give them a little trim here at an angle, both of them. And these are the ones that I'm going to be utilizing to put on my green crystal beads. So I'm going to start with one bead, put it on there, put both inside, and pull that up. Oh. Okay, so now I have that on there like that. And all I'm going to do with these two is bring them around, and I'm not even going to tie knots. My tape isn't working because it's not actually taped down to this. So let's do that. Is that going to be okay? Yeah, sure. So I'm not even going to tie a knot here. I mean, you could, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to then take all four and put on this large spacer bead. Okay. Get all four in there. Bring that down. I got one kind of funky in there. Okay. I'm just gonna pull it up there kind of tightly. Doesn't have to be super tight. Okay, and then we're going to do another. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split these off and put on a green one. Now, if you wanted to make sure that you, okay, my tape is failing. If you wanted to make sure that you were using the same ones, you know, the same tails in the middle and the same tails on the side, you know, you could definitely mark those on the bottom with a marker, because you're probably going to lose that little bit of space down there anyway. I'm not too terribly worried about it, because they're all going to end up in the same place anyways. So I put that on, bring them all together, put on this guy. On all four, and this is literally what we're going to do till we get to the end. Easy peasy. So now, as I am putting these on, I am kind of making sure that these ones have a little space around the side, just for funsies. And I hope that you guys are seeing this okay. Let me move it down here. So this is what we're doing. And that's all. That's all she wrote. down here at the end of the bracelet, I ended up putting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 beads. I'm ending on a green bead because that's where I started, just kind of getting all these leathers situated. So I understand that these leathers are not gonna like always stay where they're supposed to be, but to get it started out, I kind of want to make sure I'm doing my very best to get them lined up. And pushing up the next bead in front of it. And then wrapping this end one around. And then once I have it where I want it to be, I am going to go ahead and tie another overhand knot right here. Now I am going to tie that knot up pretty close because I don't want this to be able to do too much moving around, because it's still going to be flexible. So I am going to take all 4 and do the overhand knot right here. And I'm just going to bring that down as close as I can to the bead. Okay. So I'm going to push this bead forward in order to lock that knot in and then pull it back. And then I should be pretty good right where I want to be, which it looks like I am. Alright, so that's all looking pretty good. Now we're going to tie the button clasp. So you need to know leather is going to stretch a little bit. It's just something that happens. So this is going to stretch out as it gets worn. So I made it so that when it fits around my wrist, pretty much the button is almost touching that next bead. Alright guys, so I'm going to be adding this 1mm piece of leather to the end because I don't feel comfortable with this little small leather right here at the end for the holding the button. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this in here. I hope you guys can see me. There we go. So you see how I got 4 pieces of leather here, and I'm going to string this in between these leathers. There's one on that side, and then I gotta put one on the other side. And I'm doing my very best not to pinch this leather right here. And get it in there. Okay. So once it's in there, I'm not concerned about it because I do have 4 pieces of leather in here. Come on. I do have 4 pieces of leather. So I am going to actually just tie a knot right here. And then I'm just going to make my buttonhole on this more sturdy leather. So I'm going to make 2. I should have enough room to make 2. So again, just overhand knots. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to cut this knot off, and I'm just going to use these as like a design element here. And they've already been glued and everything, so I'm not worried about them. And this way we have our bracelet on a little sturdier, the clasp part is on a little sturdier leather. So this is also a good technique if you just want to use smaller beads and then add leather to it. This is the second size here. And then what you can do is, if you wanted, you could add beads here to this little piece. You could just glue on some seed beads, or you can tie an actual knot on there, or you can cut them off completely. It's completely up to you. I will probably add a charm here. So Bargain Bead Box did not provide us with the charm, so I'm not going to do that. But normally I would probably put a charm here to kind of like add to this. Maybe I should just do it. Let me just do that so you can get the full effect. Here is kind of like a leaf. Could add a leaf. That looks cute. Ooh. This is an amber. And so I'm going to add a jump ring, a bronze jump ring, to this. I'm going to use an oval. Make sure that's hanging correctly, which it is. I think it is. Yeah. And then right here, I'm going to hang this onto the leather loop, the more red leather. Okay. So there's that guy. And then I'm just going to go in here and just trim this up a little smidge. And there we go. So now this kind of works as a, like a little element, a design element. If you don't like it, you can cut it off. But I like to leave a little. I would have normally put a little bead on there, but I don't think that I have enough to tie a knot on it. But that's fine. And so that is the end of project number 1. So the moral of the story is that if you screw up, don't panic. It's going to be fine. I quite honestly like this. I feel more comfortable with this heavier duty leather on the end. This is fine because it's got 4 pieces. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. Let's see the sizing. So on the smallest, it is 6.5, which is about perfect for me. That's about perfect for my wrist size. And then for the next person up, so if you did have a small wrist like this, you just cut this off. You just cut this part off. And then you don't have all this excess, right? You tell your people that at the show. Or maybe you have someone who has a little larger wrist. You move into the second one here. And here we have 8 inches. And so this person is going to have more of the leather design, which is super cute. So I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. If you are, please make sure to leave it in the comment. I would love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe, and please make sure to keep watching because I have 8 project videos for this box coming out, and they are going to be coming out pretty quickly. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful, spectacular, amazing beading day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.